check. Yeah, boy. Chia. Can I live? Boom, boom, boom. Chia. Can I live? 1 2 1 2. Microphone check. Can I get a 1 in the chat the moment you can hear me? Can I get a 1 in the chat? One in the chat. Moment y'all can hear me. Let's see here. Microphone check. Okay, hold on. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat, please. If y'all can hear me, put a 1 in the chat, y'all. Let me get this squared away. Okay, one person. Having Hollywood in the building. Strong Island, stand up. Got a lot to discuss. Mainly niggers. Okay. We're going to be talking about this. What's going on with this child? How much does she really owe? Does she owe anything? Will she have to pay Megan's lawyer fees? Will she just have to pay the $59K? And of course, the documentary came out, Sean Combs, The Reckoning. For anybody who did not watch 50 Cent up to his usually sucker ways, I'm going to break down, I'm about to make a video about the whole situation. I'm going to break down to y'all what's going to be in the video, what you're going to find out. Right? So let's get to it, man, without further ado. I'm your boy, Heaven Hollywood. So without further ado, let's get to it.
I can see something. One way or another, we gon' get her. Fill me up about to get her. Brother, you was out of pocket, no, I didn't stutter. I drop it back in the trap when investing in the streets, your treasures recover. In this world, you could only rap one or two things that come to the butter. Whoa, you only rap one or two things that the guns in the butter. Whoa, you only rap one or two things that the guns in the butter. I drop it back in the trap when investing in the streets, your treasures recover. In this world, you could only rap one or two things that come to the butter. Sleeping patterns kinda complicated, ain't no time for wasting, we some entrepreneurs. I'm feeling like Scarface on top of the balcony, the world is yours. Took some losses, I was down bad. Napoleon complex, I'm mad. About to put the cam up in the clad bag. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Chicken dinners or you roll with the winners. Taking over for the summer. I double back for the winter. I be with the scammers and spinners. Innovators in the middleman. All my riders got a dental plan. None of my shooters got Instagrams. Bang, bang. Got some rich headed out of bounds. Had to hop in the Renty to ride around. About to switch up the whisk cause they stalking now. Whispering body dropping on my side of town. Flick of finesse. Known to stay up out the mess. Business is business, never personal. We can politic the rest. I got a plug and they made me a plug. All my moves on they need to know. Rapper weed got me speaking slow. Bet you pay attention when we speaking up. Drip or drown, you gon' sink or you swim. In the field, we be getting it in. Type of pressure that your boys and the men. Flag out one way or another, we gon' get our family up about to get her. Brother, you was out of pocket, no, I didn't stutter. I drop it back in the trap when investing in the streets, your treasures recover. In this world, you could only rep one or two things that come to the butter. Whoa, you only rep one or two things with the guns and the butter. You only rep one or two things with the guns and the butter. I drop it back in the trap when investing in the streets, your treasures recover. In this world.
It's your boy, Heaven Hollywood. Funky Fresh in the flesh. Welcome to the show. It's the Heaven Hollywood experience. An experience like none other here on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We let you know what is popping, what's going on straight up. No chaser, no narratives. We just let you know what's going on. All right? Shout out to everybody. Strong Island in the building. New York, stand up. Shout out to Kay Barrett. Shout out to Ginger. Shout out to Carla Townsend. Asha. My moderator right now is Darius. Darius is the moderator right now. I think he's the only moderator in. Welcome to everybody on Twitch. Okay. Welcome to everybody on YouTube. Anyway, and now we're on Twitch. So welcome to the show. And a lot of stuff going on here, man. Like a lot of stuff going on. Two main topics that dominated over the last 24 hours is, of course, the Milagro Grams and Megan Thee Stallion lawsuit, in which Milagro Grams was found liable. As of right now, she's liable on the exact what I said, 2 out of 3. Now, it could always change because the judge has not yet ruled whether they consider Milagro media. But as of right now, yes, Ginger. Thank you for watching on Twitch. Anybody who has not got like Ginger, like I said, I'm just waiting for more people to add me on Twitch so I can go straight Twitch. I like their live streams better than YouTube. And then YouTube, I'll just keep the videos on. But there's been a lot of confusion. You know, people telling me, she won, she beat a lawsuit, and then there's some people saying, well, Megan spent all that money just to get $75,000. She lost. Not really. Not really, because it's not just going to be $75,000 or $59,000. They have yet to add up the attorney fees. And in the state of Florida, if you, I believe, get convicted of defamation, you have to pay the plaintiff's lawyer fees. So Milagro is not out of the woods yet. We'll see what happens with that. We know she won't have to pay $4 million. We know that much. But, we do not yet know what the amount is going to be. All right. I do believe they're going to go higher than 75 because they're going to factor in the attorney fees. But at any rate, it's not going to be what Tasha K had to pay. So I guess you can say that's a victory. But as far as people saying, oh, yes, she won. No, she didn't win. But once again, I told y'all the deal. And I said, I believe she's going to get hit with the tape. And I said she'll get hit with intentional infliction of emotional distress. And that's exactly what she got hit with. Those two. I said defamation was going to be hard to prove only because, and not even had anything to do with the technical part of it, but the things about the, everybody else doing it, and I think that had a lot to do with it. But they found the guilty of defamation. The only reason that it may get dismissed is only because of technical reasons. So a lot of people celebrate saying, oh, yeah, at least you got Armand Wigworm saying, oh, yeah, at least they'll have to send a cease and desist. Well, you've always had to send a cease and desist. Heaven, you going to sign Milagro? Am I going to sign her to what? Hitter said, am I going to sign Milagro? Sign her to what? I got you, Ginger. Since you're the first one to ask about it, I'll definitely make sure that I put you on as a moderator on Twitch. Since you're the first one to ask about it, you watch me over on Twitch. So, and on Twitch, I'm gonna be on camera all the time. So yes, as of right now, because the judge has yet to decide on the full amount, right now it's $59K. Now, according to Milagro, she's all out of money. So $59K is like $590,000 to her. I think Milagro is going to get a new contract by ACK or another independent media team. Nah, I'm not signing anybody. I sign, right now I'm signing actors. I'm looking to sign on actors. We got a lot of projects coming up, and we're trying to get about 10 to 12 independent actors to put on our team. So when we put out these short films and these series and these movies, we want to use the same actors, until the movie gets picked up or somebody buys it or something like that. But when you're doing independent movies, you have to cut as much cost as you can. And one way to cut costs is to have the same actors in every movie. That's how Spike Lee used to do it. Right? That's how Spike Lee was able to save some money when he first started, because he always had the same actors. All I've got to worry about is getting out of paying Meg's lawyer fee. Well, I don't think she's going to be able to do that, because I heard that's like a given. I heard when you get filed for defamation, or something about the deep revenge porn or whatever case may be, I'm going to go to Megan Kenneth and to Docket Diva and compare notes and see what they said. I don't think she's going to be able to get out of those fees. But we'll see. If she has to pay Megan's lawyer fees, that's going to be close to $1 million. Plus the $75K. So I think Megan's lawyer fees are somewhat around $600, $700K. So she's going to have to pay those back. Now, God only knows when she'll get it, but they're going to have to put it into a payment plan. And if she can't pay it, which a lot of people say, go ahead and sue me. I ain't got nothing anyway. But you'll never get anything either. Because if they got to garnish your wages, That's what they'll do. Right? But I think when you're thinking about everything, she kind of came out okay. Right? She kind of came out okay because, hell, it could have been worse. Could have been worse. But we're going to see when the judge comes back. As we all know, yesterday was the verdict. Judge said that she was found liable on all three charges, and that would be the defamation, the intentional emotional distress, and the spreading of the deep fake tape. Said that she combined with Tory Lanez, right, collaborated with Tory Lanez to help spread misinformation about Megan Thee Stallion. Now, some people still believe that that's true. Some people believe it's not true. But if we're going by the book, she got convicted of it, so people are going to roll with it. Now, Tasha K is in a payment plan. What Tasha K did was worked out a settlement. So I think at this point she probably paid Cardi B maybe $100,000, maybe. So instead of $4 million, I think they settled out for like $1.5 million or something like that. And then I think Cardi B is going to allow her to pay it in installments. Right? That's what I believe is going to happen. So Cardi B kind of worked it out with Tasha K. But Tasha K, in the meantime, filed bankruptcy. She allegedly had to sell her dream home because she couldn't have anything in her name, or else Cardi B was going to be able to take it. She had, her kids were supposed to be going to college. I heard that, they're not going to college anymore. And she just caused her family a whole bunch of problems, pretty much for no reason, because she was too prideful. And then her husband is a beta. He just sits there. Let me tell you something. If my wife was doing that, I'd be like, girl, if you don't take your ass in there and take that bullshit video down, I'm going to leave your ass. But I believe he's only married her for the green card anyway. So he sits there and lets her get away with whatever she's doing. Typical beta. Any other man would put their foot down and say, we're not doing this. Like, you hurting this family. You are hurting this family. Take that stupid video down, apologize to that woman, and let's move on with our life. And if she would have did that, they'd still be in that house. And that was her dream house, too, she said. Had to move stuff all out of her name. Now, remember, Tasha K had a little money. Tasha K had made close to $4 million on YouTube. Right? So she had the money to pay. Millie's said that social media pays her a little under 6 figures. So if she's under 6 figures, she's making what, between 80, maybe between 80 and 100K a year. She had a household. You can't talk to. Yeah, Tasha K had money at that time. She, again, had made $3 million at least. So she could have gave Cardi B, $2 million or whatever at the time, but she chose not to. She chose to go the other route, file bankruptcy. She didn't want to come up off no cash at the time. But hold on. We're gonna look into the docket diva. Let's see what she said. She's been my go-to for the trial. I'm off of Megan Cuniff. I went over to docket diva. Megan Cuniff, this trial was, a lot of people ain't talking about it, but she hurt Megan Thee Stallion more than helped for this trial. She hurt more than helped. So let's see here. Documentary. Yeah, I'm gonna. We'll be talking about the Diddy documentary. 50 Cent on his sucker ish. Nobody ever calls him out. A couple of people have called him out now. I mean, we know Ja Rule's gonna call him out, but Dame Dash call him out, and I do expect more people to call him out. So Dr. Diva said, hold on. PR-wise, both Megan and Milagro need full brand overhauls if they ever want to distance themselves from the 2020 incident. So let's see. Yes, Pam is great. I listen to Pam too. Like I watch her on. She's the only one for the case I really watch because she's pretty objective, right? I mean, I can tell from the sound of her, she's a little bit pro Megan, I think, but for the most part, she's pretty objective. I think her and Dr. Diva have both been objective. We already know that Megan the reporter, is pro Megan. We already know that. But she's very good at her job. So that's the reason why I still listen to Megan Cuniff, because even though she's pro Megan Thee Stallion, she does a good job at reporting. And, if she doesn't report what's really going down, there's enough people reporting that's going to call her out. So she's kind of forced to report everything that's really happening. Even when someone says, just like when she had to say that, in her opinion, Milagro's lawyers did a better job at cross-examination than Megan Thee Stallion's lawyers. So she even had to admit that because it was true. Right? So let's see here. Tomorrow. Says she won legally, she survived publicly, she matured privately. It's time to close this chapter. I'll break it down in detail later, but here's the truth. Milagro has two options. One, a real redemption tour. Two, fully lean into a villain era and go grab that Zeus bag. So said there's no middle ground. So either, according to docuseries, she said Milagro could do one or two things. Just go straight villain and try to get the Zeus bag. I'm sure somebody on Zeus will give her a check to go over there and continue just hating on Meg. I mean, it really depends on what type of gag order, what type of boundaries they're going to put. I mean, are they just going to say, okay, the trial's over, now Milagro can go back to saying whatever she wants about Megan? I mean, at least with the Nicki Minaj thing with Nosy Whole Live, they said Nosy Whole Live can't talk about Nicki Minaj or else she can be sued again. So they at least put some sort of restraining order on her. Are these people going to not put a restraining order on Milagro and just say, okay, well, if she starts talking about it again, I guess Megan have to sue her again. What's up, BK? What's up, Sexy 60? I really don't know. Once they finish up with all of the post-judgment orders, we'll be able to see. All right. Let's see. So she said, yes, the media defendant label will lower the cost, okay? But acting like this is a win with no consequences is wild. The jury still found her liable for defamation, conspiring with Tory to spread misinformation, and promoting a deepfake and causing emotional distress. Now, Tasha K is over on her channel saying that that's all a lie. I mean, if at this point, if people are listening to Tasha K at this point, I don't know what to say. If they have it, at this point, I don't know what to say. But anybody listening to Tasha K at this point, after owing Cardi B $4 million, after ruining her family, having to give up her home, had to switch things over to other people's names, had to go put money in Africa. If anybody still listening to her after all of this, then you get whatever it is you deserve. Right? To work, meaning her show. Okay. So Darius said, Milagro just said on Wiggins podcast last night, she's not talking about Megan at all going forward. And she's going back to work, meaning her show. And I think that would be a good idea. I think that Milagro should also use this time and really evaluate her relationship with Sunstar and Shining Star. Right? Because they did not show up for her at all. In my opinion, they were only looking out for themselves. If Tory Lanez really cared about Milagro, he would have went through with that deposition without having any problems. But Tory Lanez, what's up, Tyson Garcia? Tory Lanez, obviously, and Shining Star, Morning Star, whatever the hell his name is, they don't really care about Millie like that. He could say, oh, Mila, I love you, Mila, all he wants. But if he loved Mila so much, how come he didn't stand up and say she would never do anything like that? He's too busy talking about Rock Nation to crumble and Tory, and so he cared nothing about what was going on with Millie. Right. So, I mean, a lot of people said that, when I was saying that, nah, she said, only thing I could go on is what she said. She said she did not sleep with Tory Lanez. She did not sleep with the father. But a lot of people coming back saying, how, said to me, oh, Heb, you can't be that naive. How is a married man? Why is a married man telling a woman that he just met a few months ago, oh, he loves her. Oh, Mila, I love you so much, Mila. And going to lunch with her. He's like, that's a married man. And she's a married woman. And I just said, look, man, I don't know nothing about their relationship, so I can't judge. They're like, he's married, she's married. I'm like, does her and her husband have an open relationship? I have no idea. I have no idea about that woman's marriage. Nor do I want to have an idea about it. But this is what I'm getting in my DMs. She said that she would F Tory Lanez's brother. If she's a married woman, happily married or still with her husband, why would she say on the radio that she would F Tory Lanez's brother? I said, I don't know. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. I don't know whether that was said or not. I can't say that she said that if I didn't hear it. And nobody ever sent it to me. What's up, Nita? If somebody sends that to me, then I can say, okay, she did say that. But all I'm getting is DMs of people saying, oh, how are you going to say that she wasn't sleeping with Tory? Who's going to be paying her and they just met her? What were they paying her for? Oh, what, why is a married man saying I love you, Mila, to a woman he just met? I don't know. Yeah, I can't say that she said that unless now somebody, and the people that were telling me that they want me to. I don't know what that's going to change. They want me to go in on Millie so bad. I don't know what that's going to change. But I already said I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'll talk about what happened. I say that she was found. She was, she was found liable. But as much as people don't like Milagro, she's personally never done anything to me. Right? She's personally never done anything to me. As a matter of fact, she helped me. Right? She helped me. Like when I first started, I've been in media for over 20 years, but I got on the YouTube thing late. Right? I had a channel, the IE Network, but I used to just post live events on it. So I didn't really get into the YouTube space until, a couple of years ago. But even though I had my channel for over 10 years, but I was just putting like live events and stuff on it. I was never doing commentary or whatever. And when I first got into commentary, she helped. Like she was one of the few people that she would give me a look on Mob Radio. She would say, oh, Evan Hollywood said in his live that blah, 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 blah. And then she also had me as let me special guest on her show one day when I went to the Megan Thee Stallion video shoot. And she let me come on and give my accounts live or what happened, the video shoot. So, yeah, we disagree on a lot of things. I like Cardi B. She don't like Cardi B. But whenever I had discussions with her, we wouldn't discuss Cardi B. We would never discuss Cardi B because she knew that I liked Cardi B. So we would never have a discussion about Cardi B. So that woman's never done anything to me, except what she did to me was on the positive side. Now, the day she does something negative to me, then that's one thing. But I'm still not going to publicly call her out. I'll let y'all do that. I'm not going to. Whatever issues I've ever had with Millie, I hit her in her DM or called her Instagram phone or whatever. And I'll say, hey, that was kind of effed up what you did, or I think it was kind of messed up what you said, or something. I'm never going to oust, especially, first of all, I give black people the benefit of the doubt, first and foremost. So I'm never really going to oust black people. Like, it's hard for me to do that. It took years for me to say something about Armand Wiggins, and that's only because he started putting up my stuff I was saying to him, he started putting up on Instagram. And I hate when people do that, right? If I say something to you in a DM message, don't put my shit on Instagram unless you ask me first. I take that very personal. Don't be trying to put me on blast like I'm some sucker nigga and you just try to put me on blast. Oh, he been a fan and this thing, like, just because I was a fan at one time, that don't mean I'm going to stay a fan. You know, with more information, you have the right to change your mind. The same thing with Diddy. There's a lot of people when the Diddy trial first started wanted to see Diddy fry. But the more information came out in the trial, people started saying, you know what? Cassie is got to be held accountable in some way. And they pretty much set this dude up to fail with the baby oil and all the other stuff that wasn't true. And the minors and the boys and the men. Remember when the lawsuit first came out, Cassie tried to make it seem to everybody like Diddy was having sex with the male workers. That came out not to be true. So you have a right to change your mind with information. Right? What's up, y'all, girl? Megan is so ego-driven. She needs to learn to ignore things. However, Millie's words can be harsh to people who don't have thick skin. Yeah, I've heard the way Milagro talks to people, and it could cut, again, like you said, y'all, girl, like you said, if you don't have thick skin. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Please, coming through the door. The Cash App is $Heaven Hollywood. Y'all know I'm in here just giving you facts. So, as of right now, don't listen to Tasha K. The big bold fonts, the bold background, the bold fonts. Don't read that. The big bold background, bold fonts, the big bold background. Don't read that. So, let's see. Cassie was hip-hop's madam. She finessed and got paid out of it. I agree. Totally agree. But we'll get on Cassie's ass in a minute. We'll get on her ass in a minute. Let's see what else the Docket Diva said. Shout out to her. And let's be honest, reputation matters. Partnerships and opportunities, don't just ignore findings like these. Thinking that label softens any of this is not smart, no matter how obtuse you try to be or how much you hate Megan, the ruling still stands. So Megan Thee Stallion's legal team spoke out, and this is what they said. Hold on. Megan's attorney said Milagro's team misrepresented the verdict, and they're saying that she is still defaming. Wait a minute. What? Milagro Grants in the Southern District of Florida found defendant Milagro liable for all 3 counts: defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and promotion of an altered sexual depiction for spreading false and harmful misinformation on social media. The jury found that Milagro deliberately harmed Megan with her malicious conduct on social media, resulting in the jury rewarding Megan with $75,000. Additionally, under Florida law, Milagro's liability for reposting a deepfake pornographic video will also require her to reimburse Megan for legal fees. So there it is right there, guys. It has nothing to do with the defamation. It is if you spread a deepfake video, a sexual deepfake video, and you get deemed liable for it, you then have to pay their court fees. So it has nothing to do with the defamation. Interesting. Okay, thanks to the Docket Diva. She says, contrary to public statements issued by Milagro's attorneys, the court has not issued a final judgment regarding the defamation count. The judge will make a final ruling and determine the entire financial amount that Milagro will be required to pay Megan, and inclusive of legal bills and the defamation count at a later date. I don't know when the hell they're going to do that. Rhonda Kelly says she's Team Millie. It's just a Megan. 2 fans that hate Millie. The rest of us hate crybaby Megan. Meg got a clean cut Klay Thompson to clean up her image. She pulled a Sierra. I see the play. That's funny, Tyson. I kind of compared him to Russell Wilson as well. Russell Wilson was used to dating white girls before he dated Sierra. Klay Thompson was dating white girls, but right before Klay dated Megan, he did date a black girl. That actress that's going to be in the Jackson, that's going to be in the Michael Jackson biopic, Laura Harriol or something like that. Klay Thompson did date her. Was engaged to her too. What's up, Jazz? Jazz said she's Team Millie. Rhonda said rappers suing and sending out cease and desist. Well, I told you. Yeah, nobody listens to me, little old 21,000 subs on YouTube, Heaven Hollywood. I told y'all these celebrities ain't playing no games. And it's only going to get worse in 2026 because that's when they're going to hit y'all with that app. Y'all don't know about that app that they got coming. Some celebrities got coming. They don't let nobody know who's behind it either. They're going to pull up that shit like how that website Dumois is, how you don't know who the person is. Well, there's going to be an app in 2026 that's backed by celebrities, but you're not going to know what celebrities are backing it. So you'll never know how much money's behind it. But what that app is going to do is whenever they see something deemed as defamatory that comes from your Twitter handle, they're going to have an app that's going to be able to track down your IP address, where you work immediately, where you work, where you live at. So then the moment you do that, the first step they're going to do is contact your boss. That's going to be the first thing that they do, is contact your boss. So when people think they're hiding on the internet and they on the weekend and they talking, defaming a celebrity, by Monday morning, that celebrity going to be called your job. And you might be going back to no job. You know? So what I suggest is y'all find somebody, sign some people, people talk about, or just tell the truth. Because you see where Lion got Tasha K, right? And then Tasha K ultimately, and a lot of people ultimately, they don't like to say allegedly, or they don't like to say in my opinion, because they feel as though that's going to deter away fans, because fans are going to say, oh, she said allegedly, it's probably not true, or oh, her opinion, but she don't have no facts. It's another. But at the end of the day, if your audience F's with you, they just F with you. Look what happened to Tasha K. At the end of the day, she didn't lose any subs. She still got over 1 million subs. Now, she could have kept her $4 million, retract her Cardi statement. Her fans wasn't going to care. If she came out, she had already made the money off the Cardi videos. If she came out and said, yo, my bad, y'all, I got to take the Cardi videos down because she sent me a cease and desist, so I got to take them down. Your fans would not have stopped watching you. So you pretty much lost everything for no reason. For no reason. And Tyler said, Lion is a better storyline. You're right. But if you're going to lie, you got to have to protect yourself and say, this is what I'm hearing. I don't know whether it's true or not, y'all. But this is what my sources are telling me. You know? It's up to you to believe what you want to believe. If you want to believe what my sources are saying, that's fine. If you don't want to believe it, you don't have to believe it. And, you know, I'm just going on record as saying, I don't know whether it's true or not, but I trust my sources. They've never done me wrong before. That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. You know who says that and gets away with it? That dude, Tough City TV or whatever. That dude was on Diddy's neck for years. But he said, now, you know, I just have to say to protect myself, everything that you hear in this video is all alleged. And that don't affect his viewers. He lets you know everything is alleged. But I trust my sources. You know? And like I told people, when I get tips from people and I'm going to put it up, I make, once I get the tip from them, I call them, whether I call them via Instagram or if I have their regular number. And I say, where did you get this from? I go through a little questionnaire. Where did you get this information from? Oh, I just know it. Somebody told me, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to let them know, listen, I like this story. I'm going to put it out there. But, if it ever comes back on me or any one of these celebrities say, hey, that's a lie, you better take it down or I'm taking the call, whatever, I'm pointing them in your direction. I'm letting you know. I'm not going down for nobody. I'm not getting a fine or getting a lawsuit for nobody. So if one of them celebrities say, where'd you get that from? I'm telling them where I got it from. I'll tell you that straight up. So be very careful when you tell me some tea, when people be sending me tips or whatever, you better make sure it's accurate. At least somewhat. It don't got to be 100% accurate. Everything is, you know, there's nothing that's 100% accurate. But it's got to be somewhat accurate. Just like, and we're going to get into that in a minute, Eric Sermon. It's like Eric Sermon. I told a story to G from In Case You Didn't Know. Shout out to Gina. She put it on her blog years ago. And that same story that I told her about had never been discussed ever in public until the Diddy documentary. Nobody had ever discussed it except me. Nobody had ever discussed it. You can't find it anywhere. You can't find Eric Sermon talking about Misa Hilton and the incident when Puffy ran up on Eric Sermon about Misa. Eric Sermon back in the early 90s was smashing it, late 80s, early 90s with them green eyes. Eric Sermon was smashing everybody's girl back then. Everybody's girl, Eric Sermon from EPMD was smashing. The green-eyed bandit can't stand it. The green-eyed bandit, Eric Sermon. So we're going to take a look and see what Milagro said. And again, I don't like the whole. I had an issue even when she was early at court. And shout out to Milagro and Megan Thee Stallion. They look on their outfits. I did hear Lauren LaRosa shout out, and Charlamagne even called her pretty. Charlamagne called her pretty. Right? So let's see what she says. I know she had spoke. Let's see. Now fatademics. So here goes. Here's Milagro talking. I see she made the shade room too.
And the mob thing. Um, uh, honestly, that was it. I just want to tell y'all thank you because y'all so fucking real, you know. And the mob reigns supreme, and new media is something that a lot of people did not understand, but certain things have to happen.
Now, again, I don't really necessarily agree with the statement because he said, she's like bigging up new media and saying new media is here to stay. Well, no, new media lost a defamation case. Milagro, what do you mean new media is here to stay? On top of that, Draymond Green has been saying new media. New media is just basically the new people who has shows like the old the streamers and the basketball players that now have podcasts. That's pretty much the new regime of reporters. Now, I would be more inclined to say new media is here if they would have said she was not liable on all charges. But she was still liable.
A lot of people did not understand, but certain things have to happen so that things can be solidified. And I think that one of the biggest things in this whole situation is the fact that a jury was left to decide if, the spaces that we operate in deserve a certain type of respect. And they decided that we do.
Now, here's the thing, Milagro. You really only got that decision because it was in Florida. Remember, that law applies in Florida. I don't know if that same law applies in other places. Right? A Florida law says that bloggers are considered media. But I don't know whether all of the places say that. But yes, Florida is one of the states who said bloggers and YouTubers are considered media. But I don't know if New York considers you media. I don't know if California considers you media. I don't even know if Texas considers you media. Well, the defamation suit goes out the window, Nita, yes. But she still has to pay the $75K, and the defamation case only goes out of the window, not because she didn't defame Megan, because they determined that she did. It goes out the window due to a technicality because Megan's stupid lawyers didn't think to give Millie a heads up. So Megan's lawyers hurt her more than they helped. Right, they will throw it out because she didn't say. Correct, Nita. You're absolutely right. Which is a stupid decision on Megan's lawyer's part. They should never be too careful and say, well, even if she is media or we don't think she is media, we still gonna send it so that way, they knew at that point in time she wasn't gonna stop anyway. So that was dumb. You should have sent her the cease and desist. She wasn't gonna stop anyway. I think by that time she was too far gone. I'm already gone. So let's find out. At Grok, Milagro Grams was considered media because the trial was in Florida. Does all states consider YouTubers and bloggers media, or is it just, hold on, I'm gonna find out for y'all right now. So I want to know whether all states do that or just Florida. So in the recent defamation trial, hold on, in the recent defamation trial of Megan, hold on, let me put this up here. I'll let y'all see this. I'm already gone. So, let's go here. In the recent defamation trial of Megan Thee Stallion against blogger Milagro Grams in a Miami federal court, a jury determined that Grams qualified as a media defendant under Florida law. This classification stemmed from Grams' role as an independent entertainment commentator, IEC, blogger and YouTuber who decimated information to a large online audience via platforms like X and Instagram. The destination means Pete was required to send Grams a pre-suit cease and desist notice before filing the lawsuits, which she did not, as we all know. A procedural safeguard Florida provides to media entities to allow correction or retraction of potentially defamatory statements without, without it, parts of the defamation claim could have been dismissed Though the jury still found Graham's liable on all counts, defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and promoting a deepfake, awarding $75,000 in damages, plus potential legal fees exceeding $1 million. And here's what I was asking. You see, her saying that is very misleading. Do all states consider YouTubers and bloggers as media? No. Not all U.S. states automatically classify YouTuber, bloggers, or social media influencers as media or journalists. For legal protections like shield laws, which protect against forced disclosure of sources or information, or defamation defenses. Protections vary widely by state due to differences in statuses, court interpretations, and common law. So here's a breakdown. New Jersey includes electronic media and bloggers in its shield law. So New Jersey considers it. Virginia extends protections to non-traditional creators like bloggers and freelancers. So yes. California, broad shield law covers a professional journalist, but courts have interpreted it to include freelancers, bloggers, and online publishers who intend to inform the public at the outset of their work. No requirement for affiliation with a traditional outlet. Right? Narrow definitions, more restrictive. Alabama, Washington. Right? Alabama, no. Washington, no. You see what I'm saying? So by her saying that, that is kind of misleading. It's kind of misinformation. See, what we do here is we don't spread misinformation and we don't do narratives. So I understand what she, her being happy that she had to pay that amount out. But by her saying new media is here because of this and it's very important now, we consider, no, you're not considered that in every state. You're not considered that in every state. All right, so that's pretty much that. So what's this dude saying? Milagro clarifies that she was not found liable in defamation. So she's sitting here and she could potentially get herself in trouble again. She's saying she was not found liable for defamation. The jury ruled she qualified media, which means the defamation claim must be dismissed. No, the judge has to agree to that. Millie, please stop talking. Stop talking. Please stop talking, sis. You'll get yourself in more trouble. Like, you're still out here technically spreading misinformation because they have not ruled yet. The judge has to come back and say, okay, she's media. I don't understand why these people, why they just want social media validation. Like, you just went through a very tough trial where you're going to come up off some money. It doesn't matter. For the people saying Megan spent all of that to, y'all be acting like it came out of y'all pocket. Like, I don't understand why people are so concerned about what Megan spent, because I believe that after a while it just became a principle. I'm sure Megan did not expect millions of dollars from Milagro Graham, but she had to ask for it to try to get what she really wanted. And after a while, look at Taylor Swift. Remember, Taylor Swift sued somebody for $1. But she was just saying it was just a principle for her. When they said, how much did you want damage? She just wanted to prove that she could win. And then when they was getting at the damages, Taylor Swift said, I'll take $1. So she just really wanted to prove that she was right. And now if you try it again next time, I'm not going to be so nice. You know? I just wish she would just stop it. She needs to chill, man. She needs to chill. No more gag order. Also, Milagro says her gag order is officially lifted. She can speak on Megan or the case now, but at this moment she says she doesn't see herself discussing Megan any further. About the deleted messages, Milagro also addressed claims about message deletion. She says a specialist reviewed her device and confirmed she deletes thousands of messages every year, making the idea that she was hiding something misinformation. Right? So there you have that. Now, as far as the Diddy doc, right, which is entitled The Reckoning, and Sean Combs demands that Netflix pull this doc. So that was breaking news as of today. All right. Sean Combs' lawyers, they demand 50 Cent and Netflix to pull this documentary. Now, the documentary is already out, and I'm sure people are rushing to see it just in case it gets taken down. I did watch it. All 4 parts are up. I watched it for some context, and I basically seen a couple of people really risking their civil suit that they have against Diddy because 50 Cent somehow convinced them to talk. You got Capricorn Clark, who's trying to make, she's trying to go viral off of this. The way she was acting with all of the movements and the head shaking and the, she's trying to catch a bag from somebody. Then you got Little Rod, who basically came on and said, oh, Diddy SA'd him. And that has not come out yet. Matter of fact, a lot of his case got dismissed. Then you have another girl named Joy somebody who said, Joy Dickerson or something like that, who said Diddy SA'd her. Now Orbio Days come out about some girl who said she saw Diddy and another producer or another engineer graping Orbio Day. Now Orbio Day says She doesn't recall this, and she didn't drink like that back then. So then why are you saying, oh, was I great? You trying to set yourself up for a lawsuit. Ho, if you don't remember that she was great, then you wasn't. You said you didn't drink back then. So if you didn't drink or do drugs back then, why would you not remember? Sexy 60 said, YouTube I sub to is in part 2. Who, Tisa Tells? Well, Netflix listen to Dave request in the question. So now, Darius, here's the deal. If Diddy lawyers present proof that the stuff they used illegally, but they've already came out and said they didn't say where they got the information from, but they said it was they acquired it 100% legal. From what I'm hearing, some videographer who was working with Diddy. See, this is why Diddy, man, this is why you got to get your footage, man. You got to get your footage, man, dude. This is what's been hammering you the whole time. You didn't make sure that all them tapes were gone from the Cassie shit. And they ended up getting that. And now 50 Cent is using unseen footage that Diddy was using and filming himself because he was going to do a documentary. He was going to do his own documentary, and I believe it was with Netflix. So what happened is the stuff that he's filming, he was filming for his own documentary. 50 Cent uses it to make a hit piece about Diddy. I'm telling you, man. Y'all, and some of y'all in this room, y'all let 50 Cent get away with some of the most sucker shit out there. But if somebody else does it, y'all will be quick to call them out. But I guess because 50 made power, nobody ever wants to call 50 out. Y'all usually be dissing old heads. 50 Cent is 50 years old. He's out there in the old head conversation, up there with Jay-Z and Diddy and everybody else. But nobody ever calls him an old head. Yeah, Craig Maxett's wife also was saying stuff about Diddy. It's like everybody wants to come out now, and Capricorn Clark, you went up there and told all that stuff, and the jury basically came on this doc and said they didn't believe your ass. So you can be all dramatic all you want. The jury basically said, we don't believe you. You need more people. Naquana said that doc was trash. I mean, it had some stuff in there, but it's basically, what are you trying to do? And then 50 Cent, for him to come out and say, oh, it's not personal. Curtis, please. Please. It's been personal with Diddy ever since, for God knows how long. It's been personal with Diddy ever since back with, Misa, and from what they say, he slept with Misa. Diddy, your girls are not loyal. Not loyal, man. But when 50 Cent came in the game hating, he came in the game hating. His first big record was How to Rob, where it was a record dissing all the rappers. Then he had a bunch of diss records to Ja Rule. He was jealous of Ja Rule. Then he was jealous of Jay. He's been jealous of Jay-Z. Jay-Z and Puffy, because they're from New York, he's been jealous of them for years. And nobody ever calls him out on it. Then, God forbid, he put that non-black baby mama on a pedestal and was dissing his black baby mother. He don't talk to the black son, but his non-black son, he's always had him in magazines, always putting him on a pedestal. So he was putting Daphne on a pedestal. I can tell you, like I said, I'm going to do a video about it. But here's the basic. I used to chat with Daphne. Hey, Alexis. I used to chat with Daphne Joy, and I'll give y'all this. 50 Cent, right, got with Daphne Joy because he was trying to compete with Floyd Mayweather. Now, Floyd Mayweather used to date a girl named Miss Jackson, right? 50 Cent wanted Miss Jackson. 50 Cent, he don't really, he's not really going to date the black women. And all of y'all know that and never call him out on it. Y'all just let him get away with everything that y'all call Chris Brown a colorist. You call A$AP Rocky a colorist. Y'all call everybody a colorist except Curtis Jackson. Y'all call everybody a colorist except him. Whatever that y'all say is sucker-ish that everybody else is doing, when 50 does it, I would hate to be 50's enemy. I don't want to beef with 50 Cent. When Diddy was dating Young Miami, all y'all were talking about how disgusted it was that Diddy was so many years ahead of Young Miami, but 50 Cent was dating Cuban Links, and he was just about the same amount of years ahead of her as Diddy was ahead of Young Miami. But I never once heard anybody say, 50's a predator. 50's a creep for dating that young girl. So he could basically do whatever he wants, and all y'all just swing on his balls. Well, sorry, I'm holding everybody accountable. This dude talked about Lil Kim. He's always got smoke for black women and black men. But he's smiling up in them white folks' face. Don't never have no smoke. This guy, Chelsea Handler, can say whatever she wants to him. He's smiling Chelsea Handler's face. He loved Chelsea Handler. He loves Chelsea Handler. Everything she does, this dude swears by her. That time she said, don't be coming on the radio. Don't be coming on the radio talking about Donald Trump. That dude came on the radio and denounced Trump because Chelsea Handler said, if you don't talk about Trump no more, I'll give you some. I might give you some more. And he stopped talking about Trump. He tried to get Sierra into a fight with Chelsea Handler over his dusty ass. But let me go back to Daphne. If I'm not mistaken, he met Daphne through Miss Jackson. Right? Or knew of her. Sorry, he knew of her. But he ended up meeting her through the girl, I think her name was Giselle, that he was talking to. She's the one that ran off and got with the football player in overseas in London, the soccer player. Then he ended up getting Daphne because Daphne kind of resembled, her and Miss Jackson was, he liked those Delicia Bryant, stuff like that. Please. He gives a damn about it. Like all of a sudden, he's the hip hop Nino Brown. Like he's the spokesman. When has 50 Cent ever been a spokesman for hip hop? The part of the reason why New York hip hop is in the state that it's in is because of 50 Cent. New York used to be the place where everybody looked up to. Everybody used to follow New York rappers. Everybody looked up to New York when it came to rap. 50 Cent is one of the main reasons why New York hip-hop does not exist anymore, because he was the one that was leading the charge for New York rappers beefing with New York rappers. He was leading the charge. He was beefing with Nas. He was beefing with Jada. He was beefing with Joe. He was beefing with Jay. All the New York rappers he was beefing with. And that was right after we coming off of the East Coast, West Coast thing. We had finally got to a position where it looked as though like we were going to be going back to Cali with no problem. And this dude was starting, he beefed with Mobb Deep. He beefed with Cameron. He was beefing with all the New York rappers. And because he did that, caused a big dent in New York hip hop. But now he's going to say, he's not speaking personally. He's speaking because if he don't say anything, hip hop, people are going to think that hip hop is okay with it. 50 Cent, please. You can run that on these people that be on your balls. You can't run that on me. You're full of shit. You have a personal vendetta against Puffy. You always have. You always have. You came into the game, you saw you wanted to do clothes. You tried to do G-Unit. Diddy went out and did Sean John. Was more successful than G-Unit. You wanted to get into the restaurant business. Diddy opened up Justin's. Was more successful. Then you tried to get into the liquor business. You tried to get into vodka, effing vodka. Diddy had Ciroc on Smash and was getting $200 million a year for doing Ciroc. Everything you wanted to do, Diddy went and did better. That's the reason why 50 Cent was upset. All this BS about he asked to take me shopping. So because is BS, that's the reason why he don't like him, because he asked to take me shopping. Yet and still, wasn't you taking May shopping in the window shopping video? Wasn't that what you were doing to Mace 50? You were taking May shopping. So you're doing all this because he asked to take you shopping. Doesn't make sense. So, but you see, he didn't touch on his baby mama. Right? He touched on Cassie. You noticed that, right? He touched on Cassie. He didn't touch on his baby mama in that doc. And that's the other issue. You see, 50 Cent put Daphne on a pedestal. Nigga was out there with his feet all out. Whenever a black man is walking with his crusty ass feet out, you know he in love. He was in love with that broad. And Diddy just treated her like any other chick. Boy, tell him. Right, who was holding up with Soldier Boy? Tell him on that album cover, right? So he was upset because hold on. He was upset because he was in love with Daphne, and Diddy was treating Daphne like just another chick, and she fell harder for Diddy than she did for 50 Cent. She said in the trial, "Oh, my son gets so happy whenever he sees you coming." Her son is 50 Cent's son. Oh, you make him smile. You make him smile so much. So he's got an issue with that because he made himself look like a fool by wifing up Daphne Joy. Meanwhile, she was doing freak offs. And then let's not forget, y'all remember when they asked him when he first started dating Diddy, they asked him back then, and what did he say? If he liked the girl, he liked the girl. I mean, I don't have no problem with it. If he liked the girl, he liked the girl. Just I have no issue as long as it don't affect my son. You know what I mean? And then later on that day, he was calling Daphne Joy, threatening to cut her off if she didn't stop talking to Diddy. And Daphne basically told him, "Why should I stop talking to him? He treats me better than you. He treats me better than you." And let's not forget the case, just because it wasn't caught on tape. Let's not forget the case where he kicked Daphne in her face and stomped on her stomach. He got taken to court over it. So just because we didn't look up and get no video of it, he got taken to court of it and had to settle out of court. So 50 Cent is no voice of hip-hop. He's no voice of hip-hop. The only thing that he's done other than putting out an amazing album has caused total chaos and mass confusion ever since he's been on the scene. How are you going to have him as the face, the spokesman for hip-hop? Now, somebody will come out and say something before this week is up. I'm predicting it already. They're going to come out like, "You don't speak for me, sir." They're going to come out and say it. "You don't speak for me." So, again, I saw the documentary. It's just adding on other stuff. Lil Rod, you better hope your lawsuit goes through better, because you're not really supposed to be talking about it. A lot of your stuff was already dismissed. A lot of Puffy's stuff was dismissed already. I believe they had 120 cases. Now it's down to 77 cases. But they're going to eventually get through all these cases. They're going to eventually get through all these cases. Well, what he's doing is he's doing a smart move. He continues to push back and back and back and back. What he's trying to do is push all of these things back to around 2028. He'll be out of jail. Well, he's already right now, Mimi, he's already in the middle of 2 lawsuits. He's suing NBC, and I think he's got one more lawsuit for defamation. Oh, he's suing that lawyer. He's suing that lawyer for defamation. So he's going to slowly but surely start suing these people. Again, has nothing to do with it because he tried them. We don't know that. We don't know the whole. Of course he was. Of course he was dissing her the whole trial. What, you think he's going to sit up there and play lover boy now? She's already played 50. She already played 50. She didn't give Diddy up years ago when he threatened her to give Diddy up. Stop talking to Diddy. He did not. Of course he's gonna diss her now. He got to save face. But he dissing her in them pictures when he had his feet out? Dissing Diddy because he tried him. If he dissing Diddy, hold on. He dissing Diddy because he tried him. Hold on a minute. Dissing Diddy because he tried him, huh? Okay. Hold on. Never liked Diddy, right? Dissing Diddy because he tried him? Wait a minute here. What, he hadn't tried him yet here? He said this happened over 20 years ago. I guess he hadn't tried him yet? He hasn't tried him yet? He's never liked Diddy, right? Never liked Diddy? $50 full of shit. It ain't got nothing to do with him trying him. First of all, we ain't even got no proof of that. As usual, there ain't no proof of that. He's trying to save face. Just like by him saying, oh, it's not personal. Of course it's personal. Of course it's personal because you can't beat Puff in nothing. You haven't beat him at one thing. You haven't beat Jay at one thing. He wants to be in their position, and he can. It don't matter how many movies he make. It don't matter how many TV series you greenlight. You are never going to be Jay-Z, and you're never going to be Puff. And just like how everybody else time come, when 50 Cent time is up, and all these lawsuits start piling on him, and all of these sexual assault and assault charges that he's been doing starts to come out, nobody's going to help him. Nobody's going to help him. Nobody's going to come to his defense. You see Dame Dash going through that one thing the same thing right now. Dame Dash burnt all his bridges. So when he fell down, there was nobody there to grant him an olive branch. That's the reason why he's suffering now. Because you treated people so garbage when you were on your way up. You treated people like garbage. So when you eventually fall, there ain't going to be nobody to defend you. See, to me, 50 Cent's a sucker. He always been a sucker. He's been a sucker ever since he came in, ratted on Ja Rule, ratted out Irv Gotti and Murray because he was jealous of them. They was making so much money. He went and slowed their shit down, had the feds come. Irv Gotti had to beat the feds, but he beat the entire thing. Allegedly, he's the one who called the FBI on Murder Inc. This nigga stays telling, stays snitching, and everybody else, 6 9 everybody be getting on him. Nobody ever gets on this dude. He stayed doing corny shit. He want to look into Puffy. He wants to look into every single allegation. What about you, your baby mother saying you burnt the house down with her and your son in the house? You don't want to look into that, Curtis? No, you don't look into that, right? You don't want to look into you beating Daphne, kicking her in the stomach, kicking her in the face. You don't want to look into that. Right? Hold on. So 50 Cent sons. Here it is right here. Don't want to talk about that, though. You don't want to bring up them allegations. You want to bring up the allegations that of 30 years ago that Puffy put $1 million on Tupac's head. You ain't got no check. You have no proof. All you got is people talking. Why don't you look into this allegation? The mother of 50 Cent's eldest son, Shanika Tompkins, accused the rapper of burning down their Long Island mansion he owned and where she and the son lived at May 2008. 50 Cent, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, denied the allegations and was in Louisiana filming a movie at the time of the event. Right? So, judge freezes assets after fire at 50 Cent's house. $50 Cent's son's mother says he kicked her in the stomach and face. You don't want to talk about this, Curtis? The mother of 50 Cent's son, Daphne Joy, is publicly accused the rapper of rape, and physical abuse. During their parent relationship, a separate incident where he allegedly kicked her in the stomach and face led to domestic violence charges in 2013, to which he pled guilty to a lesser charge, vandalism. Domestic violence case, 2013. That's the same thing with Puffy and Cassie, right? In a well-documented incident from 2013, 50 Cent was charged with domestic violence after an argument where he allegedly kicked Daphne Joy in the stomach and destroyed her property over $7,000 worth. He struck a deal with the prosecutors, pleading no contest to one count of misdemeanor vandalism, receiving 3 years probation and 30 days of community service, while the domestic violence charge was dropped. See, just because there's no footage, right? Just because there's no footage, that don't mean it ain't gonna come out one day. Every dog has his day, sir. Every dog has his day. And when them white folks get tired of using you, and when they're done with you, you'll see. Talking about Diddy and other people, but Dr. Dre, how many cases he got? That's your man's, ain't it? How many cases Dr. Dre got? I don't see him denouncing Dr. Dre. But I'm going to do a video to sum everything up. Please make sure you like the stream. If you want to send a cash app, it's $ Heaven Hollywood. I'm about to get up out of here. Anything else changed? If a decision comes down from the Milagro trial, we'll either go live with the decision or make a quick video about it. All right? So remember to like, share, and subscribe. We out.